What's up? This is your host, Non-Fungible TC, Non-Fungible Today, and Non-Fungible Tomorrow. And before we begin, I do have a request for those of you who like my content and like to support me. I was just wondering if you could nominate me for one of the awards, which is the Best NFT Media Awards. So you could go to this tweet, you could go to NFT NYC/awards and then nominate me, because I don't think I would win. But I do hope to get a nomination so that more people can, see the content that I'm trying to do. The reason why I created this channel is, number one, to educate you, to inform you every day of what is happening in the market, what news is coming into Web3. Number two is to interview different people, interview builders and people's lives who has been changed by Web3, rather than just focusing on the money making side, right? So if you've seen my interviews, you know which approach I am from. So if you appreciate this, you want to support this, you want to let more people know about it, feel free to nominate me at Non-Fungible TC, right? So yeah, feel free to check out this thread. So that's it. I want to talk about a16z, right? For those of you who came in because of the video title, today I want to talk about a report that has been released by Andreessen Horowitz, so also known as a16z. It's a venture capital firm in Silicon Valley. So for those of you who have a question like, why do we care about what a VC thinks about cryptocurrency? Well, let me show you the portfolio of Andreessen Horowitz, right? If you look at the portfolio, they have all type of different sectors, right? But then they also have a sector that's for crypto. So if you click on this, you'll see that they actually kind of invested in Coinbase in the past. And if you look at the portfolio, so that's why when I talk about the report, we do need to take it with a grain of salt, because there is some vested interest. Some of the projects that I mentioned are actually invested by a16z, right? So Aave, Avalanche, Zero, Chai, DYDX, Dapper, I think this is that, yeah, Dapper Labs, Compound. You also have Manifold, which is the NFT where you could create your own NFT. And then you have Near Protocol. You even have the Phantom Wallet. So you have a lot of and also Solana as well, right? And Uniswap. So basically, you have a lot of crypto-related projects that are and also big projects that are actually invested by a16z, right? And if I remember correctly, they also are invested in a Yuga Lab. So basically, what happened is that 2 days ago, they launched a report calling Introducing the State of Crypto Report, right? So this is gonna be a longer than usual video, but I want to quickly go through the 56 pages of this report, right? So what they think and what is the overview of the crypto market right now, right? So first of all, they kind of talked about what is Web3 and compared it with the early days of the internet. Why it matters, well, it's more decentralized. The internet right now we have is flawed, but right now with Web3, it's more decentralized. People are accountable for their own network, right? So after friendlier beginnings, Web2 companies have become more extractive. So they are extracting value rather than contributing back to the users, and also less cooperative, right? And they talk about Web 1 versus Web 2 versus Web 3. And they talked about how everyone is working for a common goal through tokenization, which is something that's not available in Web 2, right? They talked about how there is more corporate, and like how it is more resilient, right? Rather than a single point of failure or one or two servers that are centralized, right? They talked about the cycle of innovation, about how right now, price is kind of like a leading indicator. So what they said is that in the beginning of every new technologies, there's gonna be, it'll be chaotic, right? But then there is an order as there's more feedback loops and happening and so on, right? So they're saying that the crypto market in the beginning could be more chaotic, but then with different feedback, with innovation and stuff like that, it will become more and more developed, right? They talked about layer 1 blockchain, the idea of what blockchain is. They talked about the different type of chains, okay? So blockchain is not just Bitcoin, it's not just Ethereum, but also other different type of chains. They talked about how, block space is very in demand. Ethereum has, even though Ethereum is number one, there are other competitors, right? So they talked about, the bridge. And so it's interesting to see these data, right? You see Avalanche and Polygon are actually the top Ethereum bridges, right? So it basically means that money is flowing there, right? And also by depositors, fans, Polygon, so mainly it's Polygon. So it's interesting to see how Polygon as a layer 2 has a lot of traction and a lot of money being a layer 2 for Ethereum. They talked about how attracting developers, because the more developers you have on a chain, the more activity it will have, the more liquidity it will attract. So they said Ethereum early on did attract a lot of developers, but at the same time there are other competitors like Solana, right? Solana is also attracting developers very quickly, and that's is what they're saying. They talk about layer 2 scaling, about optimism rollup and zero knowledge rollups. And they talked about how all of this is at the beginning, like we're all at the start. The market share, and also how it pays for Ethereum's security. They talked about how they're competing with each other and the market value. They talked about DeFi, how a lot of people might not be able to have bank account, but now within like a year or two, they were able to have access to banking services through DeFi, right? So they talk about how from 0 billion, now we have more than like 100 billion. They talk about different chains, trying to replicate the success of DeFi on Ethereum. They talked about the use cases of DeFi, and also about the upcoming big thing, which is Ethereum 2.0, which is proof of stake. And also how, and also if we look at the value locked in DeFi, and also the money being managed by different type of banks, actually DeFi total value locked is actually 31st, right? So number one is JP Morgan, and then Bank of America, Wells Fargo. So in terms of money locked, the whole DeFi is actually up and running, right? But we are still kind of early. And then they talk about stable coins, fiat, crypto, algorithmic, which is like UST that failed a while back. They talked about how there is a demand for digital dollar. They talked about the value for stable coins, and also how it is only just a small fraction compared to the total currency in the world, right? So they talked about NFTs, very early days, the different type of applications of NFT like profile pic, art and music, gaming, utility, virtual world, and also how we're beginning to see mainstream adoption. So we are still kind of early. They talked about how Web3 gives more power to the creators, giving back more to the creators rather than traditional Web2 platforms, right? So OpenSea takes you 2.5% platform fee, but app stores takes up 30%, YouTube takes 45%, and so on, right? They talked about how there's a whole new way using NFT to monetize on your content, and also a lot of innovations happening within the space. They talked about gaming, Web3 gaming, the metaverse and stuff like that, right? And then in the end, they talked about DAOs as well, right? So talking about gaming, I do want to talk about a news, okay? Jumping on to news already. And that is just yesterday, a16z, which is the VC fund that we just talked about, issued a new fund called the Games Fund 1, and which will basically invest in game studio, consumer apps, and game infrastructure, right? So, and this is, with a long-term goal of accomplishing a metaverse, right? So basically what it means is that there's a new fund focused on gaming, Web3 gaming. But what is interesting is that this fund, I think the whole point of this article is here, right? Riot Games' Mark Merlin, one of the co-founder of Riot Games, right? Is actually behind this fundraise, right? So it shows that traditional gaming companies are looking into Web3. They know what is happening, and they are using different ways to get into this space. And but the problem is, why games can't immediately become Web3, right? There's a lot of considerations of how gamers would feel towards Web3. So that's why people, who understand the industry, right? Because Riot Games is kind of owned by Tencent. So I would say people who understand the industry would find ways to get exposure to Web3 and also to the Web3 metaverse, right? So this is basically the article. And so yeah, basically that is the whole report. I do suggest you, if you have some time, download the report, read it in detail. But those were the items that were covered, and also they said it's still early right now, right? So moving on to today's news. First of all, if we look at the traditional market, the traditional market is not positive at all, right? Asia market, besides the Shanghai index, everything is in the red. Same for Europe. Inflation fears, we're talking about inflation, and then pre-US stock market, it was bad. Now you also have S&P down 4%, Nasdaq down 4.73%. So obviously, if we look at the crypto market, we would see a sea of red, right? Okay. So let us look at the crypto market right now. Bitcoin, just fell below 30,000, and now we're at 29,475. Ethereum is still below 2,000. Hovering. But if you look at the 7 days change, we are still in the green. This green was brought to you by the pump right after the dump of the Luna UST crash, right? But in terms of the global crypto market cap, yes, money has left the market. We are at 1.25 trillion. And also if we look at here, let's see, look at here, yeah. By 5 days, here's the global crypto market. So we're kind of moving, since the dump, right? Money is still in and out. People are still scared. People are still fear in the market because of inflation. And also with these articles, it's definitely not helping, right? 5 days to know before the stock opens. Dow Jones fell 300 point futures, right? So everything is at a sell-off mode. So if you're looking to invest, I would suggest you to tread carefully because cryptocurrency do correlate with the traditional market, and we have seen traditional market going down, cryptocurrency going down, right? Traditional market going up, cryptocurrency going up. Crypto bubble, yeah, I see a red double-digit losses in certain chains and stuff like that. Nothing pretty much new here. Crypto quant, if we look at crypto quant, we look at the summary, right? Exchange reserve still looks positive, lower selling pressure, less less Bitcoin on the exchanges, but in terms of inflow, there are Bitcoin coming into these exchanges. So you'll have to be careful. Technical, RSI is oversold, so that's why it's still possible. There's a trend reversal. But in general, if we look at the exchange reserve, right, and if we look at the net info, so the whole logic is that if you have more, so Bitcoin, green means that more Bitcoin is going into the exchanges, right? Usually when more Bitcoin goes into exchanges, it means that people are trying to sell. But if Bitcoin are leaving exchanges, it means that there are lower selling pressure. So basically within, these, 2 days, right? Yesterday and the day before, you have Bitcoin coming into the market, right? So there is gonna be selling pressure, right? So this is negative, right? So this is how you can use on-chain data to analyze the market, and this on-chain data is available to all. In terms of DeFi, this huge chunk that we lost is actually due to the Luna ecosystem, collapsing. But in terms of the last 24 hours, we do have interesting. 4chain has a huge increase. Okay, but not in US dollar value. But in terms of 1 day change, 4chain is leading. But in terms of losses, some protocols, are having like significant losses. So it's kind of risky nowadays in DeFi in a sense, right? So that's it for the traditional market and also the crypto market. Let's look at NFT. NFT is kind of 50-50. You have a sea of red and you also have a sea of green. Everything is kind of neutral right now. But what I can share with you is that the sentiment is kind of low, right? The trading volume has kind of decreased, in the past 7 days. I've been doing this every day. We do see the trading volume decreasing. We do see traders, reducing more bag holders. If you look at holders, if you look at this, right now there is more seller than buyer, so there is a selling pressure in the NFT market. Before 30-day profit and loss, right? It was kind of like people were actually making money, right, in 30 days. But now you have the losses piling up, so we're almost at a break-even point. So it kind of shows that money is not being made in a crypto in the NFT market. So that's why the trading sentiment is kind of low. If you look at the marketplaces, look at the ranking, Magic Eden is still #1 in terms of the trade, like the users, right? But then both Magic Eden and OpenSea have a drop of users in the last 24 hours. So in general, this is a whole NFT market thing. It is not money going from Ethereum to Solana blockchain, but both blockchains have less user in the last 24 hours. Same for the trading volume, okay? So in general, the market is very bearish, and yeah, this is just to give you a perspective. So moving on to our daily news, I found out an article that's from Microsoft, which is very helpful, and it is about defending hot wallets from attack. So if you own a MetaMask wallet, if you own a software wallet, you must read this article to protect yourself from any scams or hacks and stuff like that, right? Sometimes you might get scammed, but what is more important is that some hackers might install a virus on your computer to steal your private keys. So this article talks about the different type of attack vectors. It is quite a long article. Every link is in the description below. But if you want to protect your computer, definitely recommend you to read this article. It talks about crypto jackers, like different type of new attack vectors, right? crypto jackers are basically mining malware. So if you mine crypto, there's a chance that that miner could be a virus or ransomware. Basically, like they some threat actors prefer cryptocurrency for ransom payment, right? Password and info stealers, so people could steal your credentials and then have access to some of your maybe trading accounts, right? And also Trojans, so another type of info stealer, so it basically checks your copy and paste, right? So for example, if you copy and paste a private key or whatever, it basically steals these data, right? So it talks about the sample, like there is more and more viruses now targeting crypto, right? Before there were less, but now because it's such a lucrative, thing, that's why they're going to target crypto. So they talk about private key, seed phrase, public key, wallet password, and all the attack factors that hackers could do, right? A lot of technical details about how these like dumping your memory, people can steal your hot wallet private keys, okay, inside like memory dumps and stuff like that. So that's why if you have a wallet and if it's a legit wallet on your computer, even if you throw it, you might have to wipe it several times, right? So key logging, no need to brute force, key log the passwords and stuff like that, steal your data. And also they talk about how they could use fake ads, okay, fake links in order to hack you. So this is definitely a very helpful article. They talk about how to defend, so antivirus, be more attentive and stuff like that, right? So definitely check out this article if you want to protect yourself. Always prevention is more important than ramifying the hacks, right? Revoke cache is only helpful after you get hacked, right? But why not prevent yourself being hacked first by equipping yourself with knowledge. So moving on to our next news, Ethereum nears major upgrade as Testnet set to undergo merge in June. So this is interesting because Ethereum 2.0 is a very exciting project that everyone is looking forward to, because in Ethereum will move to proof of stake, right? So it means that will be more environmental friendly, more corporations will be more willing to associate themselves with Ethereum. And so right now the testnet is going to try to upgrade proof of stake on June the 6th. So I do believe that this could be like a buy the news moment, leading up to June 6th. Maybe if this is successful, maybe Ethereum could pump, we don't know, but the market sentiment is really negative right now. So in crypto is always 50-50. You always have something that is very bullish, but at the same time you have the global market that is very bearish. So we'll have to see how this goes, but keep an eye on these news, right? It will definitely affect your ETHs, right? Moving on to next, this article is about the biggest winner from the crypto crash, the USDC stablecoin, right? So it basically talks about the UST stablecoin lost its peg, last week, right? And then, Tether's market cap decreased, but the USDC stablecoin market cap increased. So USDC is the biggest winner. And for those of you who do not know, you can actually check for market cap in a coin market cap, right? So what you can do is you can go to the coin, and usually they'll show you the price, right? But what you can do is you can click market cap, and that will show you how much money is in this token, right? So if we look at the USDC in the last 7 days, we do see a increase, right? Right now, before like 7 days ago, it was around 48 billion. Now we are at around 52 billion, right? So there is a 4 billion money increase, right? And then if you look at USDT, right, not UST, right, you do see that there was a decrease, right, from a 82 billion market cap from 7 days ago to right now we have 74 billion market cap, right? So what will happen if people sell off the Tether, right? What would happen if they move off the Tether to the USDC? So we have yet to see, right? So interesting, just want to share with you that you can actually check market cap in coin market cap or maybe CoinGecko as well. All you have to do is just click on this tab, right? Next news, interesting news in for Canada. It basically shares about how NFT could be for good, right? So basically, a singer Kiesza backed robot NFT to give prosthetic limbs to a young man and dog. So a singer basically backs an NFT drop called Meta Moves, okay, in partnership with a marketplace, and then to provide funds for patients who need prosthetics, right? So there was an auction, and then after the auction, the money was raised to provide prosthetics to a person who needs it and also a dog who needs it. So I think this is definitely another great showcase of how NFT could be a fundraising platform for good, right? So I was actually planning to talk about this article right after the the biggest winner from the crypto crash, right? So what happened was that South Korean watchdog reportedly fines Terraform Labs 78 million for tax evasion, right? For those of you who have been following this news closely, Do Kwon, the creator of Luna, kind of like kind of terminated the company in South Korea, right before the crash. And the reason for that is that they liquidated the domestic operation in South Korea because Do Kwon was unhappy with the crypto taxation in the country, right, since December. So people were saying that actually Do Kwon right now owns the South Korean government 78 million, okay, for the tax evasion, right? And therefore, that is why some people were speculating Do Kwon wants to create a new Luna chain, like a new Luna chain, in order to kind of use the money to pay for his tax evasions or whatever, right? Because if he do not pay these taxes, what will happen is that he might fall into legal troubles, right? Of course, he's already in hot waters right now. But if the South Korean government decides to, sue them, prosecutes him for a tax evasion, and it is a huge sum of money, right? It could spell a lot of trouble for him, right? Is he gonna leave Korea? Is he gonna be on the run for the long term, right? Definitely, that is not good for a person with a family, right? So there are influencers saying that, oh, he wants to create a new fork chain in order to raise new money to pay for taxes, right? So that could be another approach, right? So moving on, another interesting news, which is Aave launches social media project Lens protocol with over 50 apps built on Polygon, right? For those of you who do not know, Aave is actually a DeFi protocol where you can lend money to other people. So they had to decide to diversify, and they launched a protocol called Lens protocol, right? Which is a social media project with applications built on the Polygon blockchain, right? So Lens is similar to the social media platform Twitter, but the profiles are linked to a non-fungible token that could be ported into decentralized applications, right? So the founder believes that people are ready for a better social media experience, and so it's interesting to see also how they have 50 plus social applications and creative monetization tools built on Polygon, right? So for example, if you do advertising and maybe you get revenue paid to you, or it will be done using cryptocurrency. So this is a very interesting platform. So this is how it looks. Okay, still in beta mode. Okay, beta warning. So it's called Lenster, right? And you could create community. Okay, you could actually log in. So I think login will require a browser crypto wallet. You can explore. So it's kind of like Twitter, but top comments are still very early. Top collected latest community. You could create community. Talk about different projects. These communities are still small, but it was just launched yesterday, right? So I think these are gonna be NFT and blockchain backed. Okay, so that's it for today's news. Thank you for watching. This is your host Non-Fungible TC. If you like the content, remember to like and subscribe. Like is very important because it'll let the YouTube algorithm know that this content is very helpful, and it is a way to encourage me to keep doing these content, right? So I hope you learn something new, understand the market a bit. I hope these informations were helpful. I hope you have a better idea of how big venture capitalist firms think about the market in general, right? So this is your host. Remember to like and subscribe. So this is your host Non-Fungible TC signing out.